All right, so I didn't do more sculpting than what I showed, but you should obviously complete the rest of yours. Once that's done, what we need to do is actually bake the results. But one issue that we might have is that you might have noticed, I was showing earlier, let me do it here. When I go to sculpt here, because I'm still using this. Um, I'm just gonna X to get rid of the texture. When I sculpt here, it was going in as opposed to out, right? So I go like this, see how it's going in. And that's because the faces are actually inverted, meaning it's facing inwards. And that might happen to you as well. So what I want to do is just make sure that everything's in the correct orientation. So you're gonna go to modeling. Um, it's weird. Let's see if I do this. Okay, yeah, I apparently had everything off center. Okay, go into modeling. Then what we're gonna do is go to where are you? Uh, Here, I think. Let me see. Faces, um, face angle. Maybe it's this one. Where are you? Face orientation. So underneath the viewport overlays, turn on face orientation. And what you'll see is that if you have any faces that are inside out, they will show as red. So what that means is like, watch, if I go inside the chest here, it'll be red because this is the inside of the face. The faces have a direction. So think of it like a piece of paper. You can only show one side of the piece of paper. The other side is the back side of the piece of paper, but you can't draw on both sides. You can only have the one side. So that's more or less what's happening with the hands here. So they just need to be flipped. So what I'm going to do is, oh, I already have it selected. So I'll just imagine you select the hands. I'm going to select that. And then you're just going to go to, where is it? Mesh normals. And then you want to recalculate outside, and that will flip it in the correct orientation. Um, so let me check something real quick because I think, let me go back to sculpting. Yeah, so I think this hand is actually incorrect because it was flipped. Um, so I think we're going to need to actually fix that as well. So let's go to modeling. In case you did that and then you realize it was wrong here, I'm going to hit uh, L over top of this, and that will select the entirety of the shape, basically all connected bits, because it's just this thing flipped. So we're just going to go like that. I'm going to hit delete, and we will delete the faces. So that'll get rid of all of those. And then what I'm going to do is over here, we're going to add a modifier, and we're just going to go ahead and mirror. Um, and what we're going to mirror on, we're going to choose an object. I'm just going to choose, like, let's say the shirt, and that way it'll mirror across from that. And then we'll go ahead and I'm just going to, is it because we're in object mode? Let me get, or in edit mode. Can I do it now? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and apply that so that that way, um, that hand is flipped to the other side. Okay. Um, Great. Okay. So we now have our character fine. And what I want to do is create the material and the normal map for the character. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the texture paint. I'm sorry, go to shading section. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a new material. So click new. And let's go here and I'm going to rename this and click on it up here and we'll just call it like care material. All right, just so I know what it is, and that's now what's on the character. It's going to take the base color and let's just make it more of a mid gray so I can see a little bit better. What you're going to notice is it's only on the hands because these are all separate objects. So what you want to do is actually apply it to all of them. So if I click on this, you'll see it's not on there. So what we want to do is instead of hitting new, that'll make a physically new one. We just want to assign the same one. So I'm just going to click on this thing, choose that, and I'm just going to go right down the line and choose that for all of our objects, not the eyeballs; those are different. But basically, the rest of the model, we're just going to go ahead and apply the material. All right. Next, what I want to do is this. We need to bake a normal map. So first, I need to make an image that I'm going to bake to. So we're going to hit Shift A. We're going to choose a texture, and we want to do an image texture. And we'll click over here. We're going to make this overly big. So we're going to generate one in here. We're not going to open one because we're going to make one. So you're going to hit New, and we'll just call this normal because it'll be our normal map. And for the size, let's do 4096 by 4096. So you will notice that when you see image textures, they're typically like 4096, 2048. 1024, 512. And the reason why is that those are square numbers and the computer can understand and read those a little bit easier. We'll leave it as black for now, doesn't really matter. And then we'll hit new image. I need to change the color space to non-color. That's kind of important, okay? So now we have basically our thing here. So we're getting a little closer. The next thing I need to do is actually bake that. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to grab all of the pieces. So I'm holding shift and grabbing everything, not the eyes though. That's why I'm grabbing them individually. And then we're going to go up to the render. Switch this to cycles. We have to use cycles in order to bake these. You're going to go down to where it says bake. You're going to expand this and you're going to click on bake from multi-res. You'll see it automatically knows normals. And then we're just going to hit bake. Make sure you have this image selected so it knows which image. So in a little bit, you should see something generated here. Now, if you have elements, but there you go. If you have things that do not have a multi-resolution modifier on there and do not have subdivision levels and or this will throw an error. So you got to make sure that everything has one of those. All right. So next is to actually just connect this. Notice that, we named this normal, but there's actually a normal slot here. You can't go directly to the normals because it actually has to go through like a filter that's going to apply the normals. So to do that, we're going to hit Shift A again to add another object. Go to displacement, and then we want to choose normal map, and then click on here. And we're going to go from our color to this one's color. So you just click and drag that there, and then from normal to normal. Okay, so at first it's not going to look like it did much, but it did. Watch this. So I have this selected. Now watch, if I take the levels viewport here and I lower it all the way to 0, you can see it still has the sculpting details on there. These won't do anything because they're not part of it. But this is actually the normal map. So just as an example, watch if I pull this off, see how it goes away? So basically our details are now baked into our things and our character is actually still low poly, but has the wrinkles and things. So for example, I'll show it on this one. I'll go ahead and lower this. You can see it still has the wrinkles normal maps attached to it, right? Just like you would see inside of a video game. But it doesn't have the other elements. So I'll show you here as well. Obviously, it's going to look better with it being subdivided. But you can see it still has those textural components. So that's how they do it in video games. If you've ever wondered that you notice the model looks low poly, but then it has like it's got like high poly elements. That's how they're doing it. They're basically just doing a high res model. Okay, so you can basically go through and I would just lower all of these levels to the lower levels and you should be able to see your model as it actually exists. If you want to go one level, I feel like one level makes them all look a little bit better. You can do that if you'd like. Put them all at a level 1. It just seems like it does one little oomph and it makes a big difference. Okay, so yeah, now we have basically those textural components. You basically did your sculpting and you've been able to apply it now to the model. And you can see they have the bits. I really hate this model. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. So good job.